Hello, guys. Nat Blue here with another episode of Nat News. So, today I had a few things I wanted to talk about. We have two things about streaming, one trailer that I'm really excited about, and then my review of Kraven the Hunter. So, this will be time stamped. If you want to skip any of that, that is perfectly fine with me. So, to kick us off, Offbrand, a production company founded by Ludwig Ogren, sadly shut down because of financial issues. Offbrand Games, which is behind Rivals of Ether 2, will continue to produce games. But the production company is no longer going to continue. This is sad news. There were some very talented people on there. And people associated with the company, like Ludwig and some of his friends, have posted a link to hiring these talented people that worked for Offbrand. So if you're interested in hiring anybody that could help in production, I would definitely go check it out. This is sad, but this kind of thing happens when you take a risk in business. And I wish the best for those guys. Also in streaming news, Offline TV, a content organization, released a Christmas album. So they posted a YouTube video of them going through vocal training with a teacher and then going into a studio and recording the album. It is better than I expected it to be. I don't mean that in a mean way, but most of them are not professional singers, with the exception of Lily Pichu, who's come out with a lot of music as comfy beats, which I definitely recommend. She makes great music. And then I guess John has released a couple of songs that I did not hear about until I watched that YouTube video. There were some standouts on there. I think John and Jody sounded really good together. Sidion sounded really good. Lily Pichu obviously did an amazing job. And then I think Yvonne surprised me. I was very impressed with her. So I would definitely go check that out if you're an Offline TV fan and just see how you feel about it. Now on to the trailer. The first teaser trailer for Superman was released and it looks incredible. So you get to see characters like Crypto, Green Lantern, Lex Luthor, Mr. Terrific, Hawkgirl, Jimmy Olsen, and a couple of other people, Lois Lane. It looks really good. I love David Cornsweet, the look that he has for Superman. I like that he has a different look as Clark Kent. I think that was a big gripe I had with Henry Cavill, is he still kind of looked like Superman as Clark Kent. He has different hair when he's Clark Kent. He's a little bit more slouched. I think they did a good job with that transition. And I think he has a good look for Superman. He has the coif, I think is what it's called, or the collicue. And I think the costume, although I'm not a huge fan of how baggy it is, I think it will grow on me over time. I am questioning how I feel about Nicholas Hoult as Lex Luthor. I think he can do a good job because he's a good actor, but I wish he was a little bit bulkier. Super excited to see Crypto in a movie because I don't think we've seen a live action Crypto the Superdog before. So I'm really stoked for that. I don't know how I feel about Guy Gardner, but I think that's kind of the point. Guy Gardner is not the most loved Green Lantern. If they wanted to use the most loved Green Lantern, they could have had Nathan Fillion be Hal Jordan. Or they could have cast somebody for this movie as Jon Stewart. But they chose Guy Gardner, who is not the most loved. And I understand the haircut he has, this wig, is a comic book look for Guy Gardner. That doesn't mean it looks good. It looks bad. 100% it looks bad. I'm excited to see Mr. Terrific. I haven't seen Mr. Terrific in anything live action. Hawkgirl is just an overall good character. I think Metamorpho is in this. Is that his name? I really hope that's his name. I think he's in this movie, so that will be exciting too. And then in the trailer, you get to see Superman start to fight a kaiju, which is sick. The whole him being in the snow thing's really cool. The Crypto scene in the trailer is really cool. The people kind of not liking Superman is a big part of the comics. I love this trailer. I think James Gunn knocked it out of the park. So I'm really excited for this movie to come out. I'm probably going to try to see it as early as possible. So, now that we've gotten that out of the way, let's get into the meat of the episode, the Kraven the Hunter review. I talked about this a little bit last week on my NatNews episode, that I wanted to love this movie. I like Kraven. He's a good character. I had high hopes. I didn't think it was going to be good, but I really wanted it to be, because I wanted them to do this character justice. And I think the biggest issue with the movie is that they did not do the character justice. They made Kraven somebody that only hunts criminals. He doesn't hunt animals. He isn't a great hunter in part of the movie, if I'm being completely honest. And he's more of like an animal rights guy, which is not an issue with that. Kraven has hunted poachers and stuff in the comic books, and poachers are bad guys, but I wanted him to be the ruthless hunter that he's known to be. Now, I want to talk about some spoilers. So if you have not seen this movie, either skip this part using timestamps or stop watching. If you're interested in seeing the movie, I understand there might be people watching this that don't care about spoilers because they don't want to see the movie. And that's fine. So, into spoilers. I hated that entire section of Kraven as a kid. It was important to explain the origin of the character. It lasted for way too long. The Calypso scene with her grandmother was awful. It was so bad. There was so much exposition just said to people. You know, there's a famous saying when you make movies that you should show, not tell. In this movie, almost exclusively told, which is insane. And then he finds Calypso as an adult and is like, hey, I found you with this tarot card. You're a lawyer. Can you help me hunt people? So he's like, oh, I need help finding these people on my list, which is crazy because you found her with just a tarot card. So you can find criminals. Most of them aren't hidden very well, if I'm being completely honest. A lot of them, like, go places. But he's like, hey, I need your help. He's never spoken to this woman before. He knows that when they were kids, she saved his life. Has never had a conversation with her. Immediately trust her to know his secret identity, the name that he uses, that he's never told anybody that has lived, and the fact that he kills people. Pretty big thing to reveal to somebody, if I'm being completely honest. But immediately trust her. She goes for it, oddly enough. I don't get that. And more oddly enough, she has criminal connections that help them out, which, you know, I've met a few lawyers, and I feel like they don't have that. I could be wrong here. I could be wrong. This is in New York or London. I don't even know which one. I feel like parts of the movie, it feels like it's in New York, but I think they say it's in London. I don't know. But yeah, wasn't a huge fan of Calypso overall as a character. The bow scene at the end was so stupid. Oh, I shot a bow in summer camp. That's not how that works. That was too accurate of a shot for it to just be a summer camp kind of thing. I didn't like Russell Crowe. I think he kind of phoned it in, which seems to be the case with a lot of Russell Crowe roles recently. I did like Chameleon. That was cool. It was cool to see his face near the end of the movie too, where it's that like white comic accurate face. I kind of wish he hadn't gone to a doctor to get that augmentation, because I kind of wanted to see Chameleon using like the practical costumes and stuff. But I understand they're not making other movies after this, which is the biggest plus to this movie. This ends the Sonyverse. They're done with these live action movies, which is good for me. I haven't liked a lot of them. There's a lot of plot holes in this. I know they the whole video didn't make any sense. How did the guy get the video? How did the video identify him as Kraven which is a name that he says multiple times in the movie. No one that's met him has lived to remember. And what was going on with this foreigner guy? The foreigner in the comic books does not have that superpower. It is incredibly broken. And he dies in the dumbest way. The character didn't feel like he belonged in the movie to me. And that might be a little harsh. This doesn't feel like he belonged in the movie. I don't like that the lion that he gets for his jacket isn't a lion that he killed. That was kind of stupid. There's so many things I would change about this. The whole his mom is afraid of spiders thing is kind of ridiculous. Because it feels like he's Spider-Man not, which is insane. It's weird that his dad is a gangster and not a bureaucrat. But that's something I can look past. It makes sense in context. And then I just didn't like the rhino. I kind of like a dumb rhino. I don't want a business-savvy rhino. That's such a small gripe. I do want the rhino to be dumb. I prefer it when the rhino is dumb. Ridiculous thing to say, I get that, but I prefer it when the rhino is dumb. I do think Anthony Taylor Johnson did an amazing job. I really like the actor. I think he got shredded for this movie, which is impressive. I mean, he was already in great shape, but he was big. Which he wasn't as big as Kraven, but that would be an unrealistic thing to ask. Because Kraven's, massive. But I did really like him as the character. I just wish they didn't butcher the character so much. I mean, I think the fight scenes in the movie were fine. It's just a lot of plot holes. The story didn't make the most sense at times. And I just feel like they could have done a better job. And that's my gripe with most of the Sonyverse movies, is I feel like they could have done a better job. If they just spent a little bit more time thinking about the script, they could have done a better job. So, that's my review of Kraven. I would give it a 4 out of 10, which is bad, but not Madam Web bad. A lot of people have said this movie is as bad, if not worse than Madam Web, and that's insane. It is not as bad as Madam Web. Madam Web might be the worst movie I've ever seen, especially in 2024, but maybe the worst movie I've ever seen. So get that out of your head. It's not as bad as Madam Web. But is it worth seeing? No. You could wait until it's on streaming or something, but I don't think it was worth it. And I am happy that Sony is hanging it up. I wish somebody would have told me there wasn't an after credit scene. I sat in the theater for no reason, so that would have been cool to know. But other than that, that's my review of Kraven. If you disagreed with anything, please leave a comment. If you liked the movie, please tell me why. I just want to hear it from you. Tell me why. If you agree with something I said, you can still leave a comment. If you just want to talk about any of the things I went over in this episode, you can also leave a comment. Should I stop calling it episode? Probably. But I don't know what to call this sort of thing, so in my mind, it's an episode. I hope you guys did like the video. If you did, please leave a like. Subscribe to the channel if you want to see more videos like this. I try to do NatNews once a week. I am recording very late almost every time, but that's fine with me. And other than that, I hope everybody is having a great day or a great night. And until next time, peace.